Now let's add some bushes here. I want to create a simple block here. You could actually make it very simply. I enable rectangle shape and drawing. It is fairly straight. We don't need a stroke with currently white color. Alright. And to creating depth, I rasterize the layer. Right click and select rasterize layer. Alright. I enable rectangular marquee tool. I could select about half or even more, something like that. Doesn't matter. Press Ctrl or Command U. Also you could use levels, etc. And just make it a bit darker. Not too much because I want to make them more dark. Okay. You see it's kinda getting depth. Now again Ctrl or Command U and decrease total lights. I think not bad. Top side is too much, so we could remove it. Alright. And expand it. Maybe a bit depth here. Something like that. Also, we have some issues here. We will fix it later. No worries. I think it should get smaller. Alright. And maybe a bit colorize. Use hue saturation or color balance or levels or curves. It doesn't matter. I press Ctrl or Command U, colorize. Going to a bit bluish color. Less saturation. And maybe again darker. Alright. And let's search for some bushes. You could use any of those. The angles are fine. Doesn't matter. I think this is fine. Alright, I download it and bring it here. Not bad actually. The angle, it's a bit different, but it's nothing noticeable in the far. So I make smaller. You see, there is nothing to be visible. I press Ctrl or Command 1 to see 100%. Alright, something like here. As I mentioned before, sadly, this cloning technique's not fine workings on smart layers. It is working, but not so correctly. So I duplicate the layer and hide the original. And maybe make it bigger. Alright. And right click, rasterize layer, Control Alt or Command Option T. Clone it. Maybe a bit smaller. Not too much. Here. Okay. And now hold on the Shift Control Alt or Shift Command Option and press T to repeat. Don't worry about the angle. Just try to clone. Okay. And I will merge them together. But before, let's make some of those smaller and bigger to have more variety. Even flip horizontal to make more variation. Alright. Note that I'm not using auto select. Instead of that, while I'm using move tool, holding down Control or Command key and simply click on that layer and it automatically will select it. Alright. I'm just trying to make some variation and maybe this one, for example, taller. Also, this one is smaller, wider. I think it is fine to make more variation. Alright. Let's see, here too repetitive. Okay, maybe much taller to be so different. And even a bit skewed. And okay. Something like that. You could even change some of those colors and lighting to have variation. I could do it later. So select all these bushes, select one of the sides, hold on the shift key and other side, control or command E to merge them together. Alright, control or command T and bring it in the correct position. Maybe something like that. Alright, we could add a bit grasses here too. Also, they need to be smaller. So maybe something like that. More realistic. Alright. And now I could convert it to smart layer and control or command M to bring curves, make them darker. Maybe more blue value and less red value. Okay. And for green you could decide which side. Maybe something like that because it is dark. And overall I gonna dark the whole scene even more. And image adjustment exposure, again decrease exposure. Image adjustment brightness and contrast, a bit contrast. You could even use auto to check it is working fine or not. Not bad actually. Okay, I think they are getting too dark for this side, but I will add a bit light later on. So control or command U, bring back a bit saturation and maybe more greenish values, maybe a bit lighter. Okay, and still I could select the smart filter, brush, black color, regular brush actually, and very low flow value, maybe 10.5, and very slowly start to click on some words to make a bit variations. You see it is getting more realistic and natural. See, I'm making very subtle mask, not too intense. Alright. Also, I could make shadows now. Very simple shadow, we don't have very specific shadow here. So I duplicate the layer, right click and rasterize. Shift control or shift command U from keyboard to remove the color. Control or command U, you could make it black. Control or command T, you could make it flip vertical and then transform, or just hold on the control or command key and bring any place you like. Maybe something from here to here. Not bad. Alright. And filter, you could use different blurs. For now, blur gallery and tilt shift. Alright, allow me to zoom out. We need much smaller. I will move it here. Allow me to zoom in. We don't need actual rotation. Just reduced expansion. Alright. Allow me to bring even up and decrease the value amount. Maybe something like that could be fine. Or more. Okay. Confirm it. I think shadows could be even stretched more. Something like that. And for blending mode, set on multiply and decrease the opacity. I think I could make even blurry and move it below these bushes, but I rather to have in the top instead of that, and simply I could remove top part. So I create mask, brush, black color, flow maybe 50%. Allow me to check. Yes, not bad. Click here, shift and click here. Alright, I think that's fine. And for opacity, maybe 40% is enough. Allow me to check. It is better. And even could get a bit down. For this bushes layer also, I could make a bit darker. So allow me to bring it down. I duplicate it, the shadows, and move it up more and even up, but I want to remove the bottom side this time. Actually, I remove mask, delete, and new mask. Allow me to make it even more blurry. Filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. As you see, it's getting up. Now I could remove the shadows from these regions. Shift and click. Alright, you see, I'm making darker this side. And now you could decrease the value. Alright, I think maybe 60% is enough. Also for overall light, maybe again a bit darker. I think just the angle here, it is not so fine. This is my bushes, yes. Control or Command T. I think it should be get a bit larger here and even come out. Alright.